Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Final Fantasy Brief Extras video, and you can tell probably from the title, if I make it something, different than I usually do, that this is not a banner that I was excited to wake up to. Well, I was excited to wake up to this, but not what I saw. So I'm gonna try my best to keep myself composed, at least for most of it, but yeah. So her STMR has a 100% human killer, which would be pretty decent. I guess for anybody if they like to use that, but her TMR is also decent because it gives 100% stop and charm, which hasn't been seen before, so at least that's something. 100% Earth Amp, but it's locked to EX2. Okay, most units get that, at just no EX level. Multiple killers, 1,750 flat attack on the TMR STMR equip reward passive thing, and 40% sword and peril on her SLB. It's only 30% on the LB there. So that's it. She has a lot of things in her kit, but almost all of it is useless. So moving on, she only has 80 times mod boost for her SLB and LB. So her SLB is only 300 times, which is so low at this point. I feel like they're trying to curb the power creep, but like, you can't make really powerful units and start doing power creep and then go back because no one's gonna pull. So even with Tidus or Reagan's STMR, which are the same thing basically, she only maxes out to 480 times even at that. So just not very powerful. And her kit is very bland, and like I mentioned, she almost does nothing special at all. When you look at her kit, she has certain things that she does, but it's nothing useful, like giving stat buffs to an ally but not herself, or giving mitigation to some other people but not herself, and stuff like that. Like it's not very useful in 2023 at this point. This feels like a 2022, like an early 2022 unit. And she leads Earth, who not very powerful right now. Earth isn't really that strong right now, but I guess Tsukiko finally has a leader. I don't even know what her leader even is. I didn't even bother looking, but I know she leads Earth. I'm sure it's 500% for Earth. So there's that. So we're gonna go ahead and reveal the score here. 5.5. Gonna be very brutal with DPS that don't really do much else other than weak DPS nowadays. So she's getting a 5.5, and that makes me really sad because I've been looking forward to this character for a very long time as a unit, and she turns out to be really bad. So it is what it is. So moving right along, we're just not even gonna bother talking about her anymore. Let's talk about Riddar. His STMR is a joke. We're gonna go right out. We're in the strength tab. We're already gonna be negative about this. I mean, look at that. He's two-handed sword with only 148 spirit, but this guy wants to be a magic tank. Really? 500 flat spirit, but like, you probably would get more with a good, spirit weapon and also a good shield, I'm thinking. Omni cover on a cooldown. He has 100% ice, lightning, water, wind, and earth resist buff as a regular ability. He has a cooldown, 80% physical and magical machine and fairy mitigation, which is okay. If you ever get that much in Dragon, let me know. 35% earth and peril field. Not sure why this is on a cooldown. Not sure why they're thinking this is something special when we have a unit that does literally this and a bunch of other fields on a regular ability. So whatever. Multiple 200% killers. He also has it's laughable that he has 100% like aquatic machine and fairy killer, I think, something like that. 100%, but on a cooldown, by the way, not on a regular ability. He also has that 200% wind and earth resist and all those mitigations and things as well. He has those, so it's something. And moving on, he tries to be a magic tank, but he pretty much fails at that because the sword. This is not like that collab tank that had a spirit as their STMR, because it had pretty good stats and other things. This is trash. 148 spirit on the STMR means he's not going to have a lot of stats, so you just have to forego the STMR there. And now you can build him true shield build with. You have to use this TMR, which is also not really that amazing. It's okay, not that amazing though. And tries to be a physical DPS, but it really fails miserably because you're mixing, trying to be a magic tank, trying to be a physical DPS that based on attack instead of spirit, I believe. That's why he has attack as well. So Never works out. It never has worked out in the history of this game. There's been many units like this, and they never work. And they continue to make them like this instead of making just spirit scaling like the Charlotte was. So she has 50 times mod boost, which is pretty predictable for a non-real DPS. No 150% amps. And 100% Earth amp for an ally locked EX too at this point. I mean, is that even special anymore? No, not really. So we're gonna be really brutal. He's getting a 5 out of 10. I'm just really disappointed with this guy. He's so bad. Why would you pull for this guy when if you have Cecil already, or you have any magic tanks on global? Why would you even care about this guy? He's bad. So we're gonna move on. So there's gotta be a light at the end of the tunnel eventually, right? Well, maybe Kalmia will help us out with that, perhaps. I just noticed that the music may be too loud. I don't know. Anyways, so Kalmia here, she has triple cast in the base form for everything, which is good, I guess. And now we're just going to talk about her Brave Shift form. AoE zombie stop and charm cure. She also has prevention for those, I believe. 20k HP barriers. I'm just grouping everything together because she has so much that she can do now. She has a giant list of stuff she can do. Debuff removal. She has quad cast, which is very good. Her Brave Shift LB, 80% elemental resistance. Remember, she has a Neo Vision Awakening and Sylvia has a Neo Vision base. So obviously there's some discrepancy there. Obviously Neo Vision Awakening is not going to get nearly as good as a Neo Vision base. So 80% all element resist 80%. That's pretty decent, I guess. 50% mitigation, general mitigation, 75% physical and magical mitigation, and AoE auto revive 100% HP. So pretty good. Now she gets 500 flat spirit for her STMR. So pretty good, you know, for what it is. But of course, there has to be some pitfalls. Just like how Lotus Mage Fiend only had like basically one turn, right? 1 or 2 turns, or however long it was. It's the same thing here. Only 2 turns available in her Brave Shift form. It's like she's given the key to the vault, but it's only a limited time. Again, why do they do this? I hate this. This is one of the only bad things about it. Her Brave Shift form is super amazing in terms of your healer role, but you only have such a limited time, and now you gotta wait 4 turns to go back. It's way too long. Base form very little. Like, there's very little changes other than giving her base LB like 10k HP barrier instead of 6k. There's some minor changes that aren't really worth mentioning in the grand scheme of things. So she's getting a 6.9 out of 10. I think she's the best of the banner, and she's a Neo Vision Awakening. So that already explains a lot, right, guys? That explains the whole premise of this video. It's very sad that a Neo Vision Awakening is much better than the banner units, but it is what it is. And we're going to leave it at that. So, thank you guys very much for watching. Appreciate you. I'm getting out of here before I have to see any of this stuff ever again. So, peace.